Alrighty, welcome back to the Slack podcast for the second of our quarantine specials featuring Attic Saltt, which, according to their Facebook page, which I've got up here, says they're a bad new indie rock band from Brisbane. Now, I actually don't think you're that bad. I think you're pretty good, but today is the day that we're going to find out how good you really are. Today's the day the whole world will get to know what the fuck Attic Saltt, the two T's, is all about. This is Slack, the Australian podcast where usually 5 former improvisers each bring a topic of conversation before they meld it all together into a drunk radio drama. But because of COVID-19, we're essentially just using this as an excuse to get drunk and Skype each other. And it's all for your amusement, so I hope you enjoy. If you missed last week's episode, you can find all of the previous episodes and all of our many hours of shit talk on all your audio services, on YouTube, slopshack.com, all that shit. Tonight, our crew of slackers includes, I don't know how you guys are seeing, but I'm just going to start with the order that I can see. Includes Julian Tingy, lead vocalist and man with a limited taste palette. We have Cameron Edge, drummer and classic Burke. We have Lachlan Caldwell, 21-year-old guitarist with a 68-year-old knee. And Rhys Jorgensen, bassist, and can also serenade you with a recorder if you pass out in the bathroom. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Great.
Fantastic.
With the whole Burke thing, turns out that Burke actually means the C word. My dad's been calling it that my whole life, so kind of sucks.
What did you think it meant? Like,
I don't know. I just thought it meant like you're an idiot, like a fun word, like saying like, you know, like, I don't know, you're silly. But yeah, search it up. Yeah, means. Wait, can I say the C word or not?
Yeah, do it. I mean, we can just bleep it out if we have to.
Apparently it means cunt, so yeah.
Shit.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, the podcast always starts with the joke of the episode. So we're now going to play the nose game. RC Rhys was onto it as to who has to do the joke of the episode. It was Jules.
No, it was Saul. It was definitely Saul. It was 100%.
Who was it? I don't know. I'm lagging a little bit.
It was definitely Saul.
Turn around, touch it.
I got one. I got one if we want to open it. Actually, I was going to ask before, is it true that it's expensive to like bleep out swear words and stuff?
Not for us. I mean, I just drag a little bleep onto the timeline.
I heard one.
But yes, it actually is very expensive.
Swearingly. But all right. So there's this guy, right, and he works at the pickle factory, and he confessed to his wife Judy one day. He's like, you know, Judy, it's really hard to tell you this, but at work, I get the urge to put my dick in the pickle slicer. Oh my God. And then she goes, you know, oh my God, like, you know, do you need therapy? What are we going to do about this? And he goes, no, it's all right. That's too embarrassing. I'll just try to, you know, contain my urges. And anyways, 2 months later, Judy comes home and it's 2 p.m. and he's on the couch and he should be at work and she's like, well, what are you doing? Well, why aren't you at work? Well, Judy, today was the day that I stuck my dick in the pickle slicer. She goes, what happened? He goes, I got fired, obviously. And she goes, no, what happened with the pickle slicer? And he goes, oh, she got fired as well.
I get it.
Nice. Out of all the jokes we've had on the podcast, it's definitely in the upper echelon for sure.
Damn.
Well done.
How did you hear that? Was that just, how'd you come across that piece?
I don't know. On long jokes.
Long jokes on Reddit.
Long jokes. Ideal, yeah. In hindsight, probably should have been one quicker to the quip. But
all right.
Has anybody heard that longest joke of all time? Real quick.
I'm still hearing it.
Pages and pages and pages long.
And I bet it has like a shit punchline.
It's really good.
I bet you the punchline is literally Joe Mama. After all
I
that
don't know.
bullshit.
I really enjoyed it. It's so shit that it makes like the hour it takes to read it. Like,
Can we end the podcast with you reading the longest joke of all time?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it. It literally would take you like an hour or two, I think.
Jesus.
We'll do a special longest joke of all time episode. Alrighty, jumping into it. First topic, real quick, just for people who don't know who Attic Saltt are, don't know who you guys are, just to set the groundwork before we get into the topics. I just wanted to ask as my topic, how did Attic Saltt form? How are you guys doing? How's the single release been? And how do you each sort of contribute to the band?
Who's starting this one?
Starting
The
with
lead
Jules.
singer. The lead singer. The leader of the band, obviously.
Shut the fuck up. Attic Saltt. Attic Saltt started as this one of my many projects that I was doing at the time back in 2016, I think it was. Yeah, it was just an offshoot of like everything else I've been doing, just because I always get bored of like one name, so I just create like a new one and shit. But the music was always the same, and then I don't know, it came to a time it's like, well, I want to play this song like live and shit, so like how do you do that? So just started like looking for like different people to play with me and shit. But Edgy and I, we've been jamming for like since we were like 15 or something, 14. Yeah, fucks me. But yeah. And then asked so past that, asked Sar next to join the band, and through Cordell actually, he was like, because I asked Cordell if he can help us out for a New Year's gig, the first gig Attic Saltt ever played. Cordell was already playing. He's like, I don't know. And then he was like, oh, ask Cheese's brother. And then so I joined. And then Rhys is no. And then we had
Rhys just rocked up to practice one day.
Like, hey. No, but we did Harry O'Connor, aka Ferd the Gone, was in the band for a while, but he's moved on, do better things, cool
like
things.
the Slack podcast. Subscribe.
Yeah, and then eventually we asked Rhys to join. So yeah.
Awesome. So you guys put out the first sort of demo single, like 2 weeks ago, something like that. How long ago?
Yeah, probably like 2 weeks ago, give or take. I don't know.
How has that been? Did that go well? Has that been fun?
Stressful as fuck. So just because we went through. I'm not going to name the distributor, but we went through this one like distributor to put it out to like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff, and it put ours under the Attic Saltt that already existed. Hence why the extra T didn't actually get us our own profile. So we were just there like, oh shit, we need to fix this.
Yeah, it probably turned out to be a better thing though.
Yeah,
it kind of made us realize like we probably should change the band name slightly.
Yeah,
you know.
Is it still under that original band on Spotify, or did they take it down?
We got it taken down, but it took probably like a week.
Yeah,
like,
it took ages. Yeah.
Did they say anything? Were they like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
no,
I
messaged them.
I shot them a message. I shot them a message saying "heads up," like trying, and they just never got back to it. So
they're too popular for us.
They're from America. They're a pop punk band from America, Springfield.
I think they've got like 400 more followers than us, so they're too popular for us, so they just didn't respond. So
is it going to be like a race now? Who's going to be the most popular Attic Saltt?
Now we're in unique.
Yeah, we're a different Attic Saltt now. We have an extra T. Yeah. But I reckon, I'm pretty sure we had the name before them. I'm not gonna start that debate. But except they won because they did put music out like before we did.
They may take your name, but they won't take your success. To quote, what's the guy from Braveheart?
To be Braveheart, Mel Gibson.
We might have taken some of their success by having our song up on their like page for all their fans for a while. So
true. So just as a reference, what is Attic Saltt referring to? Like, why the name, and what does it mean?
It's a Latin name. I was just going through the Latin dictionary one day, And,
The what dictionary?
Latin dictionary. There's
Okay.
like online. There's, I don't know.
Oh no! When you said that, I pictured like a hugely old book that must have had to have like.
Oh no, it's just like me
or
flipping.
ribbon.
No.
No, it was a scroll. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know the word stock out. It means a dry, delicate wit. I'm still not too sure what that actually means. Like
A dry,
specifically,
delicate
but
wit.
a dry,
Okay.
delicate wit. Yeah, it's one word.
Nice.
So.
And now with the extra T, is it extra dry or extra delicate?
Extra delicate. For sure.
Sweet. That's good to hear. So what's coming next?
I don't know, like isolation, man. No. it's like probably the worst time to possibly, because this band's existed for like 2 years now, but 2020 was like, this is gonna be our year. We're gonna like try and gig, rehearse heaps, release music, and it's just like bam, coronavirus. So it's been harder, but we're still doing stuff. Like,
I mean, it'll
like
be good once it's all over. Like there'll be heaps of gigs happening, and people will be keen to come out and do shows. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's seen us live before, we've got like a repertoire of things to get busy with once this blows over.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people will be keener to party than ever when it's possible. So.
Oh, exactly.
Are you gonna make any more of those shirts, Jules?
I didn't expect people to actually ask whether like they're for sale or something. I just made it. It's over there. I can't really show it, but I just made it.
Should have been wearing it for the podcast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look what I got.
I feel like the biggest fucking dick. Just wearing a bit. Yeah, but anyway.
Shit, I'll just. That's all right. No, that sounds cool.
I think once if we make more music, or when we make more music and do more stuff, I'm sure people will want it. Or we might start selling it. I don't know how we do it, but yeah.
So you guys have all been in like various different musical projects. Rhys, you had a rap career at one point. LC, a variety of bands. Edgy as well. Like, have you guys got other things that you're doing on the side as well, or is this the main focus?
Well, I like write stuff by myself, like my own kind of songs, but it's like don't really have a plan for it because this is kind of taking the front seat. But I don't know, maybe sometime in the future I will release something, but at the moment probably not. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I did find my recorder again and a harmonica, so I'm kind of keen on those two at the moment.
Rhys, the bass player, recorder player, and harmonica player.
Yep.
Very good.
Multi-instrumentalist.
You know that Vine where it's the kid playing two recorders to his nose with the John Cena like intro?
Oh, that was Darude Sandstorm.
Oh, Darude Sandstorm on the recorder. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that this happens at some point.
Yeah.
Opening to the show.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just started music at university this year, so that keeps me busy enough. But shout out Cheeseman down in Canberra, picked up a keyboard for his room. So I hope that we come Naked Brothers band strong, like sometime.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
He just found a keyboard.
I'm holding out all projects until Cheese and I get in the same room together. So.
Nice. At least you got an end date. And Jules, you've got a solo band camp thing as well, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty much just like seaside Attic Saltt stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
C-side.
This is definitely my main thing. Yeah, not B-side. Definitely like the worst kind of like.
How do you have a C-side?
On a record.
On like a single.
It's on the inside of the circle in the middle. Like.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's like a 3D kind of thing.
Yeah. It's really thick.
Side D is just silent. You can't play side D, but it's just like a cube.
The needle has to run like a hamster wheel in the little in between part.
I like that. Sweet. All right, Jules. Just the last thing though before we move on. You were doing a song a week or a song a day project. How many did you end up getting through?
So I did 4, and then I realized I was like, you know, it's just like, oh, this was for the clone drones thing. Just like it was just an exercise to do, see if how many songs I can like write, record, release in like a day. And then I don't know, I was just like, oh, this is so fucking annoying. Like spamming people, just like, here's another song, here's another song. Like I was just like, I was getting sick of it, so I was just like, toyed. I was just like, fuck it. So,
Toy.
yeah.
Real quick, those sort of speaking of song a day things. You've been calling out the 30-day song challenge, and now the
don't
Bill
do this.
Clinton
I
challenge.
love it.
Oh, I did.
Thank you.
Wait,
I did 2 days of it, and then Jules got up me, so I was like, "No, fuck it."
Yeah,
I
you
know,
did probably
like-
half an hour after I posted mine too, man.
Yeah, I
It was a personal attack on all of us, I think.
Look, straight up, everyone's thinking it, like low key, like everyone's thinking it, but there's only a few people that won't admit it, and that I'm copping a lot of shit for it.
No,
already.
No,
I
you're
was
standing
actually
up for
slightly
people.
self-conscious, but my friends might actually want to hear, you know, what's
Like-
you know, albums I listen to,
Oh,
and
no.
instead of shit on all
How am I
that
supposed to prove I have a superior music taste without doing this shit? So
Yeah, why? Well, you shouldn't
Like-
have brought this up, Sweetie, because this is like
No,
totally.
but this is
just, like-
controversial. So this is good. This is
Yeah.
podcast.
Shit.
I might go
people,
grab
people
2
can
beers
do
or
people can
something.
do whatever.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
people can do whatever. It's all good.
Edgy's driving over to your house to beat you up right now. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say about Attic Saltt, or shall we move into the topics?
No. Just new music on the way, probably. I don't know.
Big thing.
Sweet. All right, Edgy's got another
Oh,
drink.
also, yeah.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, it's a demo. Like, Admire's a demo. I think a lot of people think it's a single because like a lot of people are just like, yeah, like it was okay, but like, you know, the recording wasn't great, and it's just like it's a demo. And we recorded that in my
with
room,
isolation.
in isolation. So that's hard. We were supposed to use a
It
studio.
was illegal as well. So
And
Nice.
then, you know, coronavirus hit. So
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I'm looking forward
Actually, I do
to
wanna
the
tell-
releases. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely kept legal in isolation, like in Jules's basement. Jules's mum would come down and like make sure we're following the guidelines.
yeah,
She's so nice. She's so nice. One day she came down and she like had
Hand sanitizer.
for us with our names written on them. Like
I remember that. Yeah.
around here, but yeah.
Wow.
Got a tube. It looks like a toothpaste tube as well. But it's just a tube of sanitizer with their names on it. So God bless.
That's
God bless
Karen.
Jules's
Yeah.
mum.
God bless.
Shout out.
Man, Karen Tingy for the win. All right. So moving on. LC, what is your topic for today?
Anti-nostalgia. What's up with that? Since
What?
nobody knows what I'm talking about because I invented the.
Please
fucking
elaborate.
idea. So I'll paint you a picture. So I used to love Green Day. Still would acknowledge how important they were during, you know, when I was like young teen. Well, actually, probably from like 9 years onwards. Green Day, huge favorite band. And like nowadays, I can't help but feel, even though I can acknowledge how important it was in my life back then, I can't help but feel like it's, you know, not one of my favorite bands anymore. But more than that, it's actually sort of like cringy in a way.
You're gonna piss Edgy off.
Nah. I do know what you're saying though. I completely agree. It does happen. Yeah.
So nostalgia usually works. You know, the things you can acknowledge were big for you back then. You fucking love. But when has that happened for you? Slash, why do you think it could be? And if you agree with me, why do you think it occurs for music more than other art forms? Like you can forgive the shakiness that you see now that you're older in other art forms like movies, like video games especially. You can forgive them for being a bit, you know, the mechanics a bit clunky, but why music? Are we a bit harsher and we cringe a bit, or to think about our old taste?
Well, I think like one of the things is like with movies, you kind of look at it and like, for example, like you see a movie like The Mummy, like where, you know, when it first came out, it was like the most craziest CGI. Like no one's ever seen that kind of shit before. But like when we look back now, it doesn't look great, but we go like, we can forgive it because they didn't really have that much stuff around then. I feel like with music, if you especially like with like kind of classic rock and stuff like that, it's just kind of like you like, sure, the audio quality is not as good, but like you can still kind of tell what the song is without all this big production, if that makes sense. So I think that might factor into it, but I don't know.
I think on the technology point, like, you know, video games, there's a very clear evolution. You know, like a game from 1980 is not going to look like it does in 2000. Whereas I think music, since about like the 60s, really, you've sort of had really good songs from the 60s that are comparable in a lot of ways in terms of how they sound now. Like, not exactly, but like you can still have, there's less of a technological leap. And so I think people then tend to judge music more as like, this doesn't, you know, this isn't as good as this song from then, or things like that. And like movies, I feel like movies, there's so much going on. There's your visuals, and then there's your music, and then there's your CGI, and then there's your acting and all of that stuff. Whereas on a song, you're really it's just music. It's just audio. So I feel like it's easier to judge something in your head that's just audio rather than the movie, where it's like, well, the script is shit, but hey, you know, that Brendan Fraser looks cool, you know, like you can, I don't know, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, I think we also, with music, we also link the culture around it to the music. Like, you know, like back to the Green Day example, like you think of the pop punk thing. The music's not, I don't think the music's like terrible or anything, but and then you think of like the spiky hair and like the things, and like, you know, like all, you know, it's just like, oh, that's like such an odd time. But there's always like revivals like for those types of things and stuff, and you know, so.
Is that what the other Attic Saltt's doing? A pop punk revival?
Oh no!
Or did pop punk never go away?
Pop up never left.
Yeah, no.
Sure.
Dookie still bangs, like low key. Dookie's a good album. Green Day is kind of
a terrible example. Just a pretty common example because, again, yeah, Jules hit it perfectly. The eyeliner, like the scene of the time. Now, with going back on the technology, then, like, could we say maybe cringe is something that's only felt like in one generation skip or a decade skip? You cringe about, in the same way you cringe about the Mummy CGI, and probably the first uses of autotune, or some people might, you know, cringe about that now, but maybe a decade or two later. Going forth like 40 years, will we look back on the Mummy as a revolutionary for CGI and those cheesy auto-tune records that we're cringing at now as like the early pioneers of those technologies?
There has to be better CGI around the same time the Mummy, though, surely. Was there? Like, there has to be, right?
Yeah, I remember the whole being real good CGI.
I don't know. Was that 99, wasn't it? I don't know. I thought it was like late 90s.
Everyone brings up the Scorpion King Dwayne Johnson like CGI from the Mummy.
Yeah, that's the Mummy too, but yeah. But no, I with what you were saying, Sar. I know one thing is I've heard things like it's always like a 20-year gap, and that's why like in the late 90s the big thing was that 70s show, and there was like a lot of 70s nostalgia from it. Because I feel like for a lot of people, like when growing up, like for example us, we're starting to see a lot of like the early 2000s music kind of come back because that's what we grew up with. Does that make sense?
Literally awesome.
Yeah, man, dead set. But like, you know, like, you know, in the 90s you saw a lot of 70s music influence coming back in because that's what they grew up with. So it's yeah. I don't know. That's why
We're always chasing the past, man.
Yeah, like
It's,
90s fashion made an unforeseeable comeback, like last decade, I suppose. you'd say.
yeah. Wait,
I don't know.
Rhys,
I
did
don't know
you get
how.
Draco's
I don't know how we're
drumstick out?
gonna revive.
Oh yeah,
think-
I do have Trey Cool's drumsticks.
Yeah, you should get it out.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, he's got
they're
Draco's
framed
drumsticks.
in my room.
Yeah.
Did you catch it at a gig?
Oh yeah, you do too. Yeah.
Technically, he threw it at hit the Saki in the head, and the Saki picked it up and then gave it to me.
Word. What concert was it?
I think 2010, so I was 10.
Oh no, that would have been
Yeah,
09, wouldn't it? Because I think
Yeah,
I think
09 or something.
because I went to the same one as
sometime
you.
around
I went to that.
there,
Yeah. God damn. Small world.
I think what you're talking about with like the nostalgia though is like to build off Edgy's point is like I think it takes a certain amount of time and stuff like 2010 era Green Day people might cringe at, but because like it's too close, it's only 10 years ago. Whereas like once it gets to 2020, people will be like, oh, that's great. It's like people in the 90s were trying to get like far away from the 80s, and then the 80s came back around in sort of the mid 2010s. So like
Yeah.
it just takes a period of time for people, especially like you said about being born at that time and growing up with it, and it sort of comes back. I think
the trends eventually end. It's like same with like that. Same if we're talking the 90s, so it's like grunge. Everyone was like fucking having their hair long, dressing like fucking. Like they're homeless or something, and then all
Like
of a sudden
this.
just end. Until the next thing. So
Yeah.
there's always something new and stuff. So it's.
so. What's the next trend then? Like, what are we in now, and what's coming?
Well,
Hip hop's been around for a long time now. Like
Well, I
I guess like in the mainstream, kind of like.
I think you
Is
can
mumble
kind
rap
of
the latest? Is it? I don't. Like,
I reckon like more like minimalism in music, sort of like that direction that Billie Eilish is going with.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot less and a lot more somber things going on for the majority of the song. Shock and surprise will be one of the main elements, which requires like a lot of the other, a lot of the rest of the project or the song to be a bit, more somber, a bit more low key, bit less musical elements going on.
Makes sense. I'm just keen for the 1920s like jazz comeback. Like that'd
Be
fun.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
I've been thinking about that for ages. Like something like, or even
bebop
like
jazz.
Mozart come back.
Well,
Like,
we're in the 20s now.
Well,
it is
like,
the 20s. Yeah, you're right.
and it's also like one of those. It is stuff like that is still around. Like there are people still making that. It's just it's not
yeah, but
like
like in the mainstream, like
that'd be
like,
whack if we went from like whatever's popular today, like all this like overproduced stuff, to literally just like a bebop quartet. Like,
It's SARS 21st like every day.
dude.
Prohibition era.
Well, then again, Peaky Blind. Everyone will start like dressing like Peaky Blinders, I guess, but you can't really do it here in Australia.
I'd be kind of keen. What do you mean? You could so do it here. It just might get a little bit hot sometimes.
It's too hot here in Australia.
Oh, so what?
Cop it.
He's got me there. He's got me there.
Any other thoughts on anti-nostalgia?
Well, does anybody have anyone they'd like to call out?
I don't know if I can call out.
I've got a few.
It's so hard because they're your heroes in the past.
Well, all right. Here's one. Well, the first band I ever saw live was My Chemical Romance on the Black Parade tour, and not gonna lie, it was fucking awesome. By memory, it was like really good.
Any souvenirs from the night?
Nah, I don't think so. I was only like 8 years old when they came, so it was like it's pretty whack. But
For some reason, 8-year-old Edgy at a My Chemical Romance concert. It's just the funniest.
dude, I loved it. It was awesome.
This is
I didn't really
awesome.
understand. I didn't understand. I didn't understand like the whole kind of like scene thing back then. I just kind of liked that kind of music. I was big into Green Day, like My Chemical Romance, and all that kind of stuff. Like I was really into it when I was like 8 years old up until I was like 14.
182, some 41.
Bowling for Soup, shout out.
Oh, I've been listening to
the
so much
Offspring.
Bowling for Soup for some reason.
Shout out to the Bowling for Soup.
Oh man, have
Shout out.
you heard the new song, Sweeby? That's like about the female WWE wrestler.
Oh, you
Wait,
should-
which one? Wait, which WWE wrestler is about? As a man who loves wrestling.
What's her name? Pull that up.
And I love how
Alexa
everyone.
Bliss. Sorry,
Oh, lol.
sorry to interrupt you. I was googling. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend the new Bowling for Soup. It hasn't.
High School 101 was like the peak of pop punk. No, Punk Rock 101, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Punk Rock 101.
Phineas
yeah.
and Ferb theme. That was the peak of Bowling for Soup right there.
Wait, is that actually Bowling for Soup?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
No way.
joking, really?
I never knew that.
They did the theme song for that.
Yeah, it's called Today's Gonna Be a Great Day, and it's like a whole song that they used for
that's
Phineas and Ferb.
respect. That's like
No
they've
way.
made one of the
It's
greatest.
like when
TV show
it's like
openers,
when
like,
Simple
songs.
Plan was the Scooby Doo band, like in the early 2000s.
Oh wait,
Like,
really?
Yeah, like dude, if you watch like the early 2000s Scooby Doo, it opens up with this song like Scooby Doo pop punk version of like the theme song sung by Simple Plan. And when I was working at Good Things Festival, they were playing, and they straight up played it live. They just
That's
like,
awesome.
who here sings Scooby Doo? And they started playing it. It was awesome. And then like every episode would have a different Simple Plan song. It was sick.
That's the gig right there. That's what Attic Saltt needs, is to do the theme song for a kids cartoon.
That's it.
That's when you know you made it. All right. Next topic, Rhys, because you have to go in T-minus like 25 minutes. So
Yes,
hit us with your
dinner.
topic.
All right. So I had no idea what to ask. So I did a little bit of a Google search of
Nice.
the best conversation starters. And
Awesome.
this one was pretty good.
Never have I ever.
Yeah. Have you ever seen or experienced something that defies logic?
Defies
you
logic.
Yeah,
You-
so we're talking about like
happened to you.
potential ghost stories and stuff like that.
Or
Like,
Yeah.
can be, or if something's happened to you that just makes no plausible sense.
oh, I got a good one, but like you guys, like,
You
Nah,
can't
you
do
got-
that. You can't go, hey, I got a great one, but I'll wait.
well, okay,
Nah.
this actually involves Rhys. This actually involves
Oh
Rhys.
yeah, I was thinking about this.
Did I steal this one from you?
No. If you say it, that means I don't have to say it. So.
Oh. Well, this is for Rhys and I basically. But we're outside my old uni when I was at Griffith, and I don't know. I think Rhys and James Normal was there. Rhys and James was there. I think for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, we're outside just sitting down, having a smoke or something. And my bag, like it's like one of these types of bags. Is it calico? Is that the material? I don't know.
Yeah, just
like
a
a
tote
tote
bag.
bag, like a tote bag. Yeah, it like caught on fire, just like out of nowhere, just like literally just caught fire.
And
we were
just
just
flames.
Yeah, like burst into like we're like what the fuck, and then my friend Lockie Rhodes came over and was like, what happened to your bag? It was like it just a hole started like just getting bigger and bigger like that. And from nowhere, there's no light in the bag, like nothing. It was just like my books and stuff, and we were just like, what the fuck? So if we're like trying to defy this, like the logic might have been like there was like from the sun, it was a hot day, it might have like bounced off like glass or something, like I don't know, off a reflective material, and just like pointed at my bag to.
That was some dude in a hotel just fucking with you, just like.
Yeah, just a magnifying glass, just like. But we don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, that sounded really boring. Yeah, someone else.
Demon bag.
That's pretty nuts, though. I can imagine something just catching on fire, just like out of nowhere. It'd be pretty funny.
It's kind of wig out. It's kind of wig out.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm racking my brain for some. Do you guys follow Glitch in the Matrix, the Reddit? Like
Yeah,
subreddit?
like how it's like
I know Mandela
glitches in real
effect
life.
and things like that.
Yeah, Mandela effect, same sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that.
Oh, sweet.
Man.
Is he gone?
He's just been
It's got-
transported
oh.
into another
Yeah.
dimension.
He's like
The
That, like-
the
Dude,
FBI.
maybe that was the thing that defies.
this is something that
logic.
defies logic. Where did Sar go?
literally just like, oh, he's back.
I've got like, I can't close any of my tabs. Not that I can't close them. I just can't let go. So I've got it so like such a dense bar that like I just exited out of the entire tab. When I was making it.
Are we using isn't it like you have to get an app or can you do it online?
You can do it online. My app's broken for some reason.
Unreal.
Yeah, mine's on. I'm doing it on the website.
Yeah, like from memory, I remember one time. It's not too exciting. Like something from the table just got knocked over onto the floor with no like reason or force that could have applied to it. Nobody else in the room, etc. And then, like I don't know what to make of it. I remember there's like, and even in court, witness accounts, especially like when it's the statute of limitations or like years have passed, like they're really unreliable because the memory and things like I don't know could just be like it would like maybe it was weird to me at the time and it shocked me and so I like couldn't put together like this obvious thing, but and then it just stuck in my head as this like almost supernatural thing. But I don't know how if like you'd have a group of people. That's creepy that your bag got on fire.
I have like so many things that happen to me that are just like massive coincidences, and I try so hard to like be like, nah, it's just the world's like that sometimes. But there's some things that just happen where you're like, that's just ridiculous that those things lined up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
give me an example. Come on.
Okay, well, like
the Swap Shacks to turn to Joe Rogan. It's just real-
Jamie, pull that up.
it's entirely possible that we're living in some kind of
Jamie,
Jamie,
hold on.
pull it up, pull it up.
Hold on.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys on DMT?
Is that your topic, Edgy?
Yep. Nah, it's not.
Yeah, just like earlier this year there was heaps of stuff where I was trying to like meet with these specific producers of a TV show, and then literally the next day an event is announced with them that I went to, and then like I was trying to get on set for a show, and then ABC Radio did a set competition the next day, and like just
No
crazy
way.
stuff.
Jesus.
So many weird things, but then you're like, well, maybe it's just I was into the show at the same time and everyone else was, and
Maybe you're just the luckiest bastard on earth.
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Who
you know
knows?
those things where like you think of someone maybe someone you haven't thought of in a long time or something, and
Yeah.
then next day that like you might go shopping or something and
Oh,
you
you
see
meet up
them
with
like across the road, like or like yeah, not even that, or you just see them walk by or something. It's just like it's so weird. Like that's the weirdest thing,
Coincidence?
That's happened.
I
That's
think
happened
not.
to many people.
You tell
Yeah,
Rhys.
literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know like one weird one I had, which I guess is just kind of a ghost story. So I work at the RNA showgrounds. Anyone in Brisbane knows it.
Not anymore. Well, sort of.
Well, I still technically am employed
Yeah.
there. It's just
Me
doesn't-
too.
Doesn't
Haha,
have
you don't
any-
have a job.
No,
You're
me neither.
unemployed.
I'm in the events business. Neither Edgy or I have work for the next
Yeah,
6 months.
yeah.
Yeah,
Literally.
but
But
Yeah. So.
so they have like
Oh,
all these where the grandstands are. They have all these like old buildings kind of connected to them that you can like. They're all for like the counselors and like the people who run the RNA. And me and this guy who's like training me, we walked into this place called Council Stand. It's like the big council stuff there, like all the RNA business, like big decisions are run through there. And so we had to kind of set it up for a meeting. So like put tea and coffee out and stuff like that. And we went in there, it was like 8 p.m. at night. This guy who's training me is like, oh, no one would come in here because it's actually haunted, apparently. I'm like, oh, cool, whatever, it's haunted. And then, so we're getting like all the stuff ready. And then we look into the other room, and you can kind of look into it because there's like a glass door kind of thing. And you can look into it, and the lights just going on and off and on and off. And me and this dude are just looking at it like, what the fuck? How did that happen? Just as we were talking about like how the place is haunted.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
whack.
Oh,
Never going to the RNA showgrounds again.
No,
All
it's
right,
a fun
all right,
time.
Lane.
place at night as well. Like,
I mean, yeah, but no, I thought it was kind of cool. Like, I wasn't really scared. I was just like, it's pretty dope.
There's one
Um,
story on Glitch in the Matrix that really sticks with me. I'll give you a summary, but you should go and read it. But it's essentially like it's this kid is staying in a hotel over like the summer with his family, right? And it's like big, like I think it has like 15 stories or something, right? And the kid would go to the pool with his family, and then he would he would go from the pool into the elevator up to his floor on the 12th floor, and usually he'd do this every day, right? And usually his family would still be in the pool, and then he'd go up to the room, right? And the kid's about 8, right? And one day the kid goes from the pool into the elevator, goes to level 12, door opens, he goes over to his regular door, which I think is like number 15 or something, right? He knocks on the door, and no one answers. And he's like, "What? This is weird," because he figured usually his family was there, or his mom or something. And he keeps knocking at the door, and nobody answers to let him in. And then eventually, the door opens, and there's this old lady that he has no idea, he's never seen her before in his life, standing there at the door. And she looks at him and she goes, "Don't worry, they'll be here soon," and then slams the door in his face. And he just stands there like, what the hell is happening, right?
Jeez.
And then all of a sudden, the elevator opens up behind him, and his mum comes out, and she's in tears, and she's like, "Oh my God, honey, where have you been? We've been searching for you for hours." She grabs him, goes into the elevator, hits the button. The elevator doors open as she goes in. She hits the button again, right? Then the doors open, right? The elevator doesn't move anywhere. She hits number 12. It opens on number 12. But in her shock, she doesn't realize that she's gotten out on level 12, found her son, gotten back in the elevator, hit the button, and the doors have just opened. But it's a different floor. She then walks to their room, right? And she's like, "Oh, we found the kid." Turns out that the kid had been missing for 2 hours. The police had been called. But when they found the kid, his hair was still dripping. Like he was still wet, right? And he'd gone to level 12 and then suddenly gone to some parallel level 12, right? And there's security footage. They have the police there. The kid tells them about the old lady. They try to find the old lady. Turns out there is no old lady there. They search the security footage. Kid goes into the elevator, disappears. Next time they see him, the mom's bringing him back into the elevator. And it's just one of those really weird, like they have actual like footage of this kid disappearing for like 2 hours. And when he shows up, he's still wet.
Jesus Christ.
But imagine something like that happening to you at 8 years old, and you'd never forget about that. Like you blipped into another reality for like,
Yeah,
2
maybe
hours.
that was it. Maybe it was like Thanos like killed the world for 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe that's what happened.
oh,
All they saw on the
Sorry.
security camera was just dust, kind of just drifting.
Scary. But like so many people think like elevators are like these weird portals. Like so many weird things happen in elevators. So Jules, I'm not surprised you don't like elevators.
Oh, yeah, no.
Do you not like elevators?
Sorry to call you out, but like after reading that story, I'm like, fuck, I'm not getting in an elevator.
It's not because it's more just like being like claustrophobic and shit. It's not like the actual elevator. But, yeah.
Well, like, if there's a bunch of people in it, you kind of freak out.
I don't know. It's just more of like it's stopping fucking like on the 24th floor or something in a fucking like the one oh I know what bar it is. Oh,
You mean
it's got 11? 11? Yeah, like that
think...
elevator. Like fuck that elevator.
I've never been
like
there. Actually. Need to go.
It's like it's a bar or something. It's like on the top. It's on the 11th. It's on the 11th floor, but it's like really fucking high up, and it's just like the sketchiest fuck elevator.
It
Just,
has
and
like
that's the only
mirrors
way
and
you can.
stuff.
Yeah, is they
Yeah.
fun fact? I'm pretty sure they have mirrors, so it makes it feel like you're not closed in. That's why they have the mirrors all around, so it feels like it's like in a bigger space, but it just doesn't
Yeah.
work. It's just
They do that
it's
in shops and restaurants and stuff all the time. Like
Mhm.
put up mirrors and stuff. Yeah.
On like real narrow, yeah. They usually
You ever been to
on real,
Charmy?
like narrow walkways. Yeah,
Charmy.
is the shit,
Charmy
yeah.
is literally just one big mirror because it's just tiny.
Yeah, come to think,
Charmy.
you'd think of it as such a squeeze.
Yeah. Also the best bar / Korean restaurant in
Oh,
Brisbane.
huge place, biggest.
Where is it?
You know the
Loophole,
Night
they call
Owl on Albert Street?
Oh, next
Yeah.
next to Gilhooly's.
The one.
Yeah.
So next to like Gilhooly's, Fat Louie's, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just this little
Yeah,
like hole in the wall, and it's a Korean restaurant in the front and a bottle shop in the back, and you can buy whatever you want from the bottle shop and drink it in the Korean restaurant.
That's
Cool.
pretty
My
tight.
recommendation for that: get this Korean malt beer.
Wait, they have malt
and
liquor,
get
as in
like
like
their
40?
soju. Yeah, it's like BYO in the restaurant.
Get a
Yeah,
40.
you get a bunch of people. You buy like a few 6-packs of that Korean, whatever it's called. I can't remember. It's really good though. There's a German malt beer as well. It's really good. Cloud.
Yeah, and get what's it called? Like the blueberry wine and stuff. Soju.
Yeah, they sell that. Yeah.
Get
Good
soju
shit.
and put a shot of soju, like any flavor you want, strawberry or whatnot. Put it in the malt beer. Tastes amazing. It's like a
Jesus.
yeah.
I need to check this place out when everything opens up.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Goddamn. Yeah, I'm game.
Any other unexplained stories?
I don't know. Fun fact, because it seems supernatural at the time. It like seemed like the most supernatural thing of all time. Actually, in hindsight, it fucking makes a lot of sense. But like, has anybody ever seen like rain like come towards them? Like you're on the outer circle of where rain is and isn't.
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
circle's expanding. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that freaked me the hell out. Like in the
When
distance,
it- when
it
it's-
was like rain, and this whole wave just comes towards you. And
Or
makes
what about
perfect
when it's
logical
raining?
sense now.
I think it's
When
kind of
it's raining
beautiful
in the
though.
front yard, raining in your front yard, but not in your backyard.
Yeah, see that.
Truman
ever
Show.
happened to
like
you?
that.
No, I've not.
Yeah, that's
never
happened
actually
to me.
me.
It's happened to me.
Yeah,
There was one
shit.
time I was working with my dad's roof, and literally we're on the roof, and the side we were on, it was like sunny, you know, all good. We're just working the roof. Literally, if you looked across the road, it was raining. It was crazy. It was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Have you guys ever seen like lightning like land up close?
Yeah,
No,
that
no,
is
no.
terrifying.
It's so loud as well. It's like
Yeah.
it
Like, you think about I think, but then there's like literal massive like beams of electricity just shooting towards you and could
Yeah.
just hit you at any point. Like,
And just like kill you.
or worse,
like-
not kill you and just leave you like just burnt
Horribly
as fuck.
disfigured, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there was one guy who I think he has the record of being struck by lightning like 12
Oh,
times
like-
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
ridiculous.
man.
Like the likelihood of like getting struck like what once is like ridiculous, right? It's like
So
really
it-
hard to.
So if you're having a bad day, just think of that bloke, because he has the worst luck of all
Just
time.
comes home on the 7th one like, honey, just prepare the bath, happen again. Like, it's just like
Yeah, it's like,
routine now. He's
Yeah.
got a tally
That
on the
is-
wall.
imagine
That's
if
okay.
imagine if like the reason he keeps surviving is because he has a heart attack every time just before the lightning hits him, and it just kind of like jolts him
And
awake.
what sparks?
Yeah,
Oh,
like a
the bolt-
defibrillator.
Like the bolt is like the defibrillator.
Yeah,
that,
so like has a every time he's had a
Oh,
heart
thank
attack before the yeah, like God has just been like, bam, you're still alive.
or he's electro. He's just
No, I don't know, man. 12 is a bit soft. Like, is he just purposely climbing like lightning poles and shit like
Yeah,
that?
is he playing golf in the storm like all the time?
Yeah, is he just walking open fields like during thunderstorms?
He must just live in a really lightning heavy
Dude.
area, and he's always working in the field or
But
something.
after 6 times, are you not going
Is
to
it-
be just like shit scared of any rain?
No,
Six times,
it's like-
nothing.
It's like
It's
that
fine.
dude. If you've ever seen the movie Benchwarmers, it's like that dude who's scared of the sun. I just would not leave the house. Like, I'd be in my closet. No one's getting me out. Like, I'm not dealing with that.
All right, Rhys, that was a good topic. Thanks
Thanks.
for Googling it for us.
No
Yeah,
worries.
the laziest one has the best topic. Fuck me.
Yeah. Don't even worry
It
about it.
was a good
Search good
topic.
topics, you got a good topic. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
All
Smart,
right.
lazy dudes.
That's right. Let us know when you have to bail, and we'll. Does anyone have a recorder on them? We can serenade Rhys with a
Yeah.
recorder.
I had a
Oh,
quick
you could play-
scene change. My
Actually-
phone's now charging.
Oh man, actually, Rhys, before you leave, can you play us something on the recorder?
Yeah.
How about you continue with your topic and I go find a recorder?
That's what
Yeah.
we'll do.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Alrighty.
Give it a
Jules, what is your topic?
Should probably go to edgy first.
Okay,
Oh,
edgy.
what?
I do need to look up like a better
Oh my
No.
god.
That's right. We'll
Jules,
go to edgy. We'll go to edgy.
Yeah, we'll go. I
Oh.
feel like we've spoken about music too much today.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fine.
All right. Well, mine was going to be like, so what do you guys reckon is the best pub in Brisbane? But like, also kind of split them into categories of like best pub, best like club, best like, I don't know, I guess it's like bar in the sense of like, it's not like exactly a pub, but it's like a place to drink, but it's not really a club.
Best local park.
Best local
Yeah.
park to sing brews in.
Best chuff spot.
Yeah, real.
Best location and coordinates for a bush stuff.
In the description below. Cool. Well, I just want to jump in with Charmy because Charmy is great and more people.
Yeah,
need to know
Charmy,
about it.
because here's the thing, it literally, as soon as everyone started talking about that, I was like, oh, that kind of segues into my thing. But yeah, I need
Yeah,
to
it
go to
works.
Charmy's.
Charmies.
Uh,
I think that whole precinct, like Fat Louie's just up the road, Gilhooey's,
Gil-
Irish Murphy's. Like
Gil
just up the
Hooley's
street.
honestly my favorite place. Like, any place that has Kilkenny on tap. Or Finn McCool's actually, but like in the afternoon, not when it's a club.
You're not a fan of late night Finns?
Oh, I'm actually pretty much a
Not
sucker.
as much.
Yeah, but like here's the thing, like I think it's like 4:30 till 6:30 at Finn McCool's. They do $7 pints of everything. So it's like $7 pints of Kilkenny, Guinness, like even Pabst Blue Ribbon on tap. Like some of the best beers.
Oh.
It's amazing. And
Does
I
Pabst
went
have any
there.
other ribbons, or is it just blue?
I think it's just blue. I'm not too sure. In Australia we've only got blue. Like, because it's an American
I
company.
just never thought about it. Like, is that the name of the beer, or is that just the name of one of the beers?
Yeah, like how it's Forex Gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh well. Yeah. What's your favorite nightclub, Edgy?
Nightclub.
No, that's what you said, isn't it? Like.
Oh,
bar,
it's
club.
well pub. Well, so it's like
What's,
favorite pub, favorite nightclub, and then like favorite just like bar, which is kind of like.
what's your favorite, like, bar, local pub, like outside of the CBD Valley area?
Oh, I'd probably say bar. Like this.
You hail from AC.
This place is all right. Like if you go a bit earlier for drinks on a Sunday, it's pretty good. It's in Everton Park, and I forgot. It's like in this little new precinct they put there where the Coles is.
Upstairs from Corbett and Claude.
Yeah. Or actually, no, downstairs. Five Boroughs is actually better. Sorry, my bad.
Is that
The American
true.
one.
Yeah, I haven't been to Five Boroughs. I mean,
Oh,
to that
it's
new
meant,
one.
it's like an
upstairs.
American kind of style bar. They have like all like American beers on tap. You got like NFL and like basketball and shit on like the TVs. It's awesome.
Speaking of great American bars, the Brooklyn Standard, my shout out.
I need to find out where that is.
You've never been? Have you guys been?
It's
man.
South Bank,
My
right?
favorite, Brooklyn Depot in South Bay.
No, Brooklyn Standard is it's like near like the pier, like towards the Story Bridge on the way.
Like
to the
Eagle,
valley.
so near like Fridays.
Yeah,
near, like,
opposite Fridays.
Opposite Fridays. Oh, shit.
Basically.
So it's
Yeah.
near like Jay Butter and stuff. Wait, is that?
Yeah. Jay
Butter?
Jay Butter's next to Fridays.
I haven't been to.
Brooklyn Depot, quick shout out though. That's my favorite restaurant.
Is that the American burger one?
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
No, Brooklyn Standard's like you can't see it on the street. There's just a single door and a little sign above it that says bar. And you go through the door, down some stairs, and then there's a whole like they play jazz and they have like I once saw a mariachi like cover band and they play Rage Against the Machine and like it was awesome. Like they have live music every night and all American drinks and it's fantastic.
That is amazing. That is honestly astounding.
I always wanted to go to a jazz club. Like
Same. My mum was telling me there's a good jazz club in the city around
at
there.
Nunda. Okay.
There's one at Nunda too, though. I know about that one.
There is one at Nunda. Yeah.
I like the Foundry the best because it's like always cheap beers of like their house tins, which are excellent. And the smokers area has always got the best view of like the Elephant live band.
Yeah, that's it. And they're usually playing just banger after banger too.
I don't go to the Foundry enough, but when I do, it's always like a good time, and they always have like good bands playing as well and stuff. Like,
I remember.
It's downstairs of the Elephant. I think that has I think it's all owned by the same people though.
Yeah, because I remember I went there once for like a disco night. And it was awesome. It was like they only played disco. It was fun. They do those like
Boogie Wonderland. Yeah, that event.
Yeah, Boogie Wonderland. That's it. Yeah,
Boogie Wonderland. That's it.
Except sometimes they charge you and sometimes they don't. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's it.
BIB.
Yeah, what happened to Rhys? Is Rhys gone or is he coming back with a recorder?
He's coming back with a recorder right now. You know those things you were saying that were just coincidences, Sweepy?
Yeah.
That was definitely one.
That's unexplainable by natural phenomena, yeah.
Literally.
Rhys is an anomaly.
Alright, so is Jules just hanging up the Attic Saltt t-shirt?
It looks good. It looks like
it kind of looks like Jesus Christ is wearing our shirt, so respect. Like, respect, like God is wearing our shirt.
That's how you got to sell it. If God wore a shirt, it would be this.
It would be
AtticSaltt.com. Yeah. I mean, look, in all the paintings, he's like shirtless, isn't he?
We could actually do that, like Photoshop Jesus onto it.
Okay, we gotta go the full Oasis route. We are the best band in the world.
What?
Full Oasis route.
Rhys, if you're there, let us know, and let us know if you found the recorder.
Oh, I think he's setting up.
He's just taking his shit or something. He's listening.
It'd be great if he was taking a shit and then turned his video on and then played the recorder.
Fuck yeah.
The close up of the instrument.
Right.
Can't find it.
No, trust me, I found it.
Oh, yes.
Outro time.
All right, Rhys, serenade us with a song. It's like a dog whistle. It's like.
Yeah, go ahead,
go.
Don't make me laugh. Get that into here.
Yeah!
Better than last time.
Beautiful. Are you going to bring that to every party after isolation?
Maybe if I can learn another song. That's the only song I know.
Do the Jurassic Park theme song, please.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No,
Titanic?
the Titanic for sure.
There it is.
My heart will go on.
That's hilarious. Jules. Actually, no, Rhys, before you go, Edgy, were you here for Edgy's topic?
No, I was finding my
Oh.
recorder.
All right.
Right. Favorite pub / wait, what's your favorite pub? Then what's your favorite club? And then what's your favorite just kind of like bar? Well, actually, just do pub and club. Fuck, favorite.
My favorite pub. I don't know if I can go past 350 skewies at Staff Tab.
Staff tab for sure. North side.
Also, yeah. Or actually, the Eddie's kind of dirty, so I kind of like that as well. But
I've
probably
seen so many
Tomcat.
cockroaches.
Tomcat's probably the best club, but
Yeah,
that
I'd agree,
that
I'd
shit's
agree.
dead now. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh, you never know. Oh, yeah, it probably is, but
Apparently.
Yeah.
it is.
Apparently so.
rough.
According to
Oh, well.
George Rand, so.
Shout out.
Reliable source.
Reliable.
Probably
Yeah.
there more than the owners are.
That's
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, oh hello as well. Rest in peace. Just quick.
Never went to.
I never went.
Alright.
The one time I went to
Oh.
go to, oh man, yeah,
I
but the
would
one
say I
time I
pity
went
you,
to go there,
but-
I was banned. So, yeah,
True.
'cause
I
Zodiac-
would say I pity you, but I'd probably rather it that way, having never gone. And then
because
it
it was
taken
me.
away from you.
Don't know what you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sweetie,
yeah.
I think your camera's like.
yeah, I know. I'm setting it back up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Ew,
Yeah.
someday.
Alrighty.
someday.
Jules, what are your picks?
Mine are probably the same as Reese's, to be honest. Like staff, staff tab and yeah, probably like Tomcat, Foundry, or Greaser. I'm new to Greaser, and I think the first time I went to
Greaser's
Greaser was with Sa to watch Georgia like do her
Do it
job.
then. Yeah,
to,
do a
to, like,
job.
to do like audio engineering, like live sound stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's like I don't know. It's like really
Like a
like red.
dive
I don't
bar.
know. Yeah, it's like weird. Like you look at the roof and it's just like it looks like you're like like I don't know, in some medieval ruin or something. I don't know. Fucks me.
Mm.
But it's just like super old and shit, but like also new. It's cool. I don't know. But probably Tomcat holds a special place in everyone's heart. So
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Better not be shut. It probably is, but hopefully it's not shut down.
Yeah.
Hopefully the
There's
boys
still Ricks
and
and
Tom.
shit. So
All right. Is that everyone?
yeah. Yeah.
Real-
What do you mean, Jules? Jules sneaking out of this so empty.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, you gotta do
Oh,
your
yeah.
topic. Well, not
No,
topics.
yours is pretty
Oh yeah.
quick.
Okay, whatever. I just quickly Googled one.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're on death row, what would your last meal be? So cliche, but like I don't know, like
Has some interesting things.
have a think.
Do you go like the Homer Simpson route and just go fuck it and just get everything?
I don't think you can. You're only
Yeah, I
allowed
wonder what
one.
is,
Yeah.
Like,
Do they have to get
Yeah.
literally anything that you ask for? Like, is there a limit?
no, there's actually some rules. I'm pretty sure. Like there's
Yeah, like they
something
don't have to like import stuff from other countries.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine a death row inmate doing like a Menulog commercial. Tonight, I'll be eating this. And it's like his last meal.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Dude, how good of an advertisement.
Yeah, that could be.
It's
That could
like,
be a good ad, maybe.
and it's just like, just this death row inmate who's about to get killed the next day, sat next to Kim Kardashian, just going like, hey,
Yeah.
she's getting the salad,
No,
he's getting the juicy steak. Like, yeah, like, tonight I'll be eating, as he's getting like carried out.
I'll probably get a nice big jar of olives or something.
What? Last meal, you can have anything.
Olives and a toothpick.
Out of-
last meal.
Out of
Yeah.
everything, a jar of olives.
If the injection doesn't kill you, that will. Like,
Mediterranean olives or something.
What could be
like
something
not even
so
like the
spicy
mixed
you
olives,
can
like
use
just
it?
black
Hey,
olives.
I don't know.
Yeah, what kind of olives?
So
do you-
okay, considering you're in death row, you've been in jail for probably a little while. You haven't
You've been
eaten a
eating
good meal in a
nothing but
while,
slop.
and
Shout
then
out,
and then
mate.
you choose as your last meal a jar of olives.
Like, how many olives have I consumed
That's
over
true.
that
Well,
time?
but like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: you could
Boy
have like,
likes his olives.
Or like a punnet of strawberries.
boy likes his
Or
olives.
something.
Oh, like
Yeah,
not even
but-
like anything that's like, yo, you can get like anything you want, it'll be the last meal you ever have on earth. And then Rhys, just get me a jar of olives, mate, no worries.
Yeah, it's
Like-
gonna come out the same when they shock me or whatever they do.
Mate,
It's true. It kind of. Well, a lot of people actually do that in death row. They like say something like really like
Retarded.
pathetic, just like as like a fuck you to like everyone. Like I'm pretty sure there was one was like, oh, I want like specifically like 5 grains of sugar or something, just like on a plate, like shit like that. Just like it's a big fuck you. But it's
Yeah,
actually funny.
I'd straight up just go back to my childhood and just be like, yo, I want some sandwiches cut in triangles. If they ain't cut in triangles, I ain't happy.
Yeah,
Crust or no
whoa.
crust?
Yeah, for sure. I'm settled.
Get rid of that crust.
I'm a fan of crust. I do
I'm a
like
fan of crust too, but you gotta be a
I
kid.
like
and
bread.
Dude, it's just nuts.
I do like bread. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
dude,
the only
No.
That just
the only
reminded me of
non-fairy
Spider-Man
part of
Homecoming.
fairy bread is the crust.
That's what I was
so
referencing.
that's
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah, good. Alright, sorry, sir.
What were you
Um,
saying, Elsie?
I was saying that the only non-fairy part of fairy bread is the crust, so let that sit in. But I formulated my decision for the meal, and it's like the old pork rolls from Padgett Tuck Shop.
Oh, dude, barbecue pork
Oh,
rolls.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
some
yeah.
dumplings in there.
You don't need. We don't even need to go through this anymore because, like, Jules and I just completely agree because they were the best things ever.
They were very
Dude.
good.
Padua was that close to a riot when they got rid of them. I remember that.
Pretty
We were
well.
like every person in the school was mad, and they were so close to like rioting. It was crazy. They were like shit being thrown. It was nuts.
I'm pretty sure they got rid of them, then
Yeah,
they
but that
brought
was
it back
shit.
with with
Yeah.
meals. And
Fuck, miss me with that bullshit.
yeah, they were still pretty alright though. Like
Yeah, but it wasn't as good.
they weren't the
In
OG.
hindsight, we should have copped it with whole grain bread, but it was not a. It was like not a win in the negotiations.
No.
Well, because what they did with the white bread, they also like toasted it. I think that's what made it so good. If you remember, it was like kind of crunchy as well. It was like really kind of like toasted a little bit. It was brilliant.
Crunchy
The
bread.
whole- yeah, it was amazing.
Remember the on a complete side note, but like the Padua pizzas were like they were like you'd fold them
Oh.
up and then just like eat them like a wrap. They were like
Dude,
ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure they were on they were on naan bread, weren't they?
Right, they're
Yeah.
like-
No, what? Wait. On naan bread, that's the
That makes a lot of
They
sense.
made them on naan bread because
Actually,
I'm pretty
hold on,
sure they wanted to
hold
save. They wanted to save because when they made the butter chicken, the curry butter chicken, they had the naan bread on the side, and then they started making pizzas using the naan bread as well to like kind of like save bread.
Hold on. Jules,
It was kind of a genius move. It was good.
Jules, I'm changing my answer from the barbecue pork roll to there was this one time I was in Sydney with my brother and his mate. We were down there for Download 2018, I think. And we went to this like kebab shop, but like instead of kebabs, it was Indian cuisine in naan bread. So if you got like a number 3, it was like butter chicken in a garlic naan bread. And you know, like the onion pakoras, like the deep fried like onion things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just crushed like 2 of those in, put those in. It's the most delicious thing. But there was 3 grown men crying on the side of the road of Sydney that night. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever tasted. It was just amazing.
True shit. Fair
It was the
enough.
best thing ever. So yeah, that's my answer.
You get a drink with your last meal,
On
don't
that
you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. What would everyone's?
How
Green
much?
ginger wine. That's all I
What?
want.
Wait, Rhys,
Bottle of
what
that.
would you go with?
Green ginger wine. Of
Green ginger
course.
wine. Yeah. What would you do with your olives? So a jar of olives and a glass of.
Olive
Where do the
juice.
olives come in?
The
Juice.
drink.
Oh no.
Wait. Olive juice. Wait,
You
what?
literally-
Drink the juice.
Hey,
The olives
hey, drink the
come
juice from the
Drink
olive
the
glass.
juice.
What is the juice? Is it just like olive oil? Do they put olive oil with olives?
Tasty though.
Oh no.
I think
it's,
so. Something like that.
Or is it
no,
just
it's
water?
not.
Olive
It's
oil.
not. It's definitely not olive oil.
Can
It's,
you imagine olive oil
That's
with
really
olives?
thick. That's like
Um,
some thick ass.
Yeah, it's usually pretty thick. I thought it was olive oil.
No,
I don't know.
it's
Well, technically,
definitely-
if it whatever it is, it's got olives
Wait,
in it. so
let me call up.
technically olive oil.
Let me message
It's
a buddy of
olive
mine and
water.
see what he says. Get old mate from Storage Wars. Like, I don't know about this. Let me call in a buddy of mine.
But yeah,
Storage
you can
wars.
have.
You mean porn
No, yeah.
stars?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's alright.
What's
Copy
everyone's
that.
last drink then? Other than
Yeah.
olive
Well,
water.
how much of this last drink can you have? Just like
The whole thing. I'm pretty
Rather-
sure they give you like a glass of
Mine's,
wine or something.
yeah, but like okay.
Yeah, you can have anything.
So if I was to ask
Raspberry
for beer,
lemonade.
could I ask for a case of beer or
You could get a tally at
No.
most.
Yeah.
a tally
Yeah, it'd be
at
like
most?
yeah, but it's probably just gonna be just a standard drink. Yeah.
You're joking. Alright. Probably I'd probably get a VB tally with it then. Surely. Like
28 before my execution.
yeah, 28. getting executed at 8 to 28 in the morning, I'm smashing down a fucking VB tally. Yeah, and probably because A, I get the most alcohol out of it, and B, VB's delicious. So yeah.
Pretty fair.
Tempting to go like 4x bitter would be my beer of choice, but can't go past Winner's creaming soda.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
soft drink
Yeah, so
brand.
like a good soft drink would be my like way out. Like a raspberry lemonade with like I don't know, just like tacos or something. You know, like for me, like
with
you
tacos.
yeah.
What meat in your tacos?
Hey, oh dude, the tacos is gonna be you know,
If you
just
say fish
just
tacos,
mince.
I'm gonna kill you.
What do you usually put in tacos, LC? Like, I feel like it's just mince, isn't it?
You can put chicken. You
You
can
can
put
go
chicken.
you
in
can go
taco.
pork, chicken.
Also?
I like chicken tacos. Hell,
I do
Pork,
tacos.
chicken, beef. I mean,
am
you
a big fish taco, fish burrito kind of guy. Though.
You can go fuck yourself then. So,
that's pretty
not-
gross, man. I'm not
pretty
gonna
bad.
lie.
Yeah,
Like, you
look, I
tell
know in
me-
my head, and I don't even like seafood, but I was just like, you know, trying to like agree with you. But
Thanks,
yeah,
Jules.
No, fuck that.
Ah, okay.
nah.
But you can't.
Straight
I
nah.
want to find some reason to agree with you.
But I can't.
Rhys, what food are you getting after this?
Olives.
Sure, yeah. Being
Share
I'm
the jar, bro.
I'm having a nice dinner. I'm gonna get a jar of olives.
No,
You're
yeah,
really
no, literally,
splurged
yeah,
tonight.
get a burger probably.
Oh,
Oh,
with
nice.
olives on it?
Nice.
Can you get olives?
I don't know. Ask for it.
Yeah,
You
if
can
you-
just
if
put
you-
olives on it yourself.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah. Just get some olives and just put it on yourself.
I do have a jar of olives inside.
He's saving it for his last day on Earth.
No, he's
Put
saving it for
some-
his son when he turns 18.
Well, when all your food expires, I'll still have a jar of olives.
That's fast.
How long does a jar of olives like last for? Like
I
what's
don't know.
No, the question is, how long does Rhys Jorgensen last for?
In the bedroom, specifically, like how much is like nutsack?
What a jar of olives is
for?
long. Not very long.
Oh, God.
All right, have we answered everyone's final
I
meal?
think so. I think so.
Yeah, but on Edgy's note, I fucking love cutting up a piece of avocado and chucking it in my curry. It's like the best life hack
What?
that I've found.
I've never
Bring
tried
me
that,
out.
but
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
so
like,
good.
It sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, and
go
and
wait.
if you don't have like naan bread, like peckish crackers, you like load up
Ooh,
a
yeah, no, so
load up a peckish cracker with curry. It's
Yeah.
so good.
So imagine this: instead of like just avocado, you make some guac, have the curry next to it, and like dip the naan bread in the guac.
Ooh,
How did you say it,
that
Edgy?
would be
Guac.
Or like a pizza, like a pizza with
Quack.
naan bread, guac sauce, and then curry on the top.
Quack, quack, quack.
No, I'd have to say that just like the solid bits of, like the sort of chunky bits of avocado, take a like
Oh,
and get
okay.
on your fork easier. And
Do you mean the
like
seed in the
bite
middle?
down on. No, not
What?
the seed.
The chunky bits,
Nah,
no
but-
avocado.
How do you
No, you
eat
cut
the
it up
fucking
into little
seed?
chunky slices, probably the size of like a 10-cent, 5-cent piece, and then you put it in there.
Oh, let me just
Yeah.
get my measurement out.
Extra.
Hold on. Like, so you like hold a 10-cent piece and just do a circle
Let's get a
around it?
5-cent piece. Probably all you have, bruv. You entertain.
Ah! We did go over before how I do not have a job, so fuck you.
No one has a job here apart from Rhys.
Yeah, Rhys.
Right. Yeah.
My
I think
hours have
so.
gone up.
Well, don't you
Oh,
still
flex.
work sometimes, Jules? Don't you work still
No.
sometimes? I thought dry cleaners were an essential service.
They are. I'm not.
Well, speaking of doing what we love, thank you guys for joining us on the next episode of the Slack podcast. This has been episode 2 of the Quarantine Specials featuring Attic Saltt. You can check out their single "Admire," their demo single, I guess, on Napster. I had to actually check if Napster was still going, and it is.
Yeah,
Apparently,
we saw it because it was
Really found
online.
that out.
It was online.
It
It was
is.
just like, here's what it's on. It was like Spotify, Apple Music, this list of shit, and it just said Napster. And I was like, that's
Awesome.
insane. That's so good.
So yeah, go check out the single on Napster. It's called "Admire," and just like their song, I admire these guys. So thank you guys for coming on the episode.
Oh,
I love all of you. I was going to get you on individually, and then I was like, I'll just get the band on, and it makes sense. We'll be back with another episode shortly. Check all the other episodes out on YouTube, audio services, slopshack.com. Lots of content coming. How do you guys want to... Rhys, can you serenade us for the
Yeah.
ending of the episode?
No,
Yeah, come on.
I can only play one song. I can't play the same song twice.
Let's play the same.
All right. I'll just
dude,
move it to
freestyle,
the end.
freestyle. Dude, just
the one from
freestyle.
before to then, and that
Yeah,
one.
freestyle. Just like play random notes.
Microphones.